Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday racing preview. Of course, now in this video we're looking at the Rosehill meeting on Saturday. We're going to get straight into it without any further ado. Obviously, if you've already done so, go check out my Bletchley Stakes video at Caulfield, where I'll go through the whole meeting, and obviously similarly to what I'll be doing in this video, looking at some of the horses that I think are good chances in the race, as well as providing top selections. So if you've already done so as well, obviously go check me out on social media, subscribe down below, like and comment. My social media platforms are _racing tips on Instagram and C-Lane Race Tips on Facebook. So going to get straight into the Rosehill program on the weekend. At the moment, playing with a soft 7. Like I said, I always appreciate you guys from New South Wales commenting down below, letting me know on some of the how the weather is up there. Obviously, it's always easy to read off of a I guess a weather forecast or whatever, but it's always better to know. Like, for instance, down here, I know that the track has got a good chance of potentially drying out here in Caulfield because there's not a lot of rain about here today at the moment. So, yeah, just give us a little bit of an update if you think that it could get into the heavy range. Otherwise, look, I am quite confident from what I've read off the forecast that we'll get a soft track tomorrow. So hopefully they're conditions that we play in. Looking at the first race on the program, it is for the 2-year-olds. It's the Sky Racing Active Handicap over 1,200 metres. Look at the speed map. I'd say Hot and Hazy, Mr. Colourful, and Oscar Zulu and Lady Banff will all roll to the top. So be a bit of speed on early, and Duchess will probably look to get into the speed battle as well. So I think there'll be quite a lot of pace on early. I think it'll set up real nicely for number 2, Smart Ed Image, who was very impressive winning first up on debut at Warwick Farm. It beat a good horse in Bailix there since come out and run well again on Wednesday. So didn't win, but I think it bumped into a couple of real smart horses there. So no knock on that. And Smart Image definitely got a good chance to bounce back off that. I was very impressed with that performance. Let down really nicely on that occasion to win. So then you can possibly do so here again if it just settles off the solid run pace. And then just gets to peel out at some point and get into it and finish over the top of him. Look, I do respect number 7, Hot and Hazy, who comes in his first up. Obviously won on debut at Wagga, where it was really impressive. And this horse has been pretty well backed as well. I mean, the fact that it's jumping at 320 as the favourite off the back of a Wagga win does suggest that this horse is obviously above average. Look, I'm not sure I could take it at 320 because, like I said, I think the market has potentially overreacted a little bit. I think this horse is a bit better form in this, but I do respect that he's got some ability and obviously has that inside barrier as well, which is going to be quite the key. But there's going to be a lot of pace on here, so it's going to have to deal with some very solidly some very solid speed in the race as well. Another horse that I think that can run a good race is number 3, Bravado, who was very good winning last start at Kembla Grange. Beat Lafayette on that occasion, let down pretty nicely to win there under Bram Dulla. Now, Tommy Berry jumps in the saddle now for this horse, so interesting to see how this horse can run second up here. Obviously has run well on a wet track before. That was on a soft track there on that occasion. So $8.50 is probably a bit over the odds about this horse. He can improve massively off that run. So he goes in for second. In for third. And then for fourth, number 4, Mr. Colourful, who won really well at Hawkesbury last time out. Really did show a nice turn of foot there on that occasion on the wet conditions, and I think he'll run well here again. The form of that race hasn't been too bad either, so I think he'll run well enough at the $11. But look, very, very keen on number 2, Smart Image, in the first race on the program, ahead of number 7, Hot and Hazy, in for second. In for third, number 3, Bravado, and in for fourth, I've got number 4, Mr. Colourful. Move on to race number 2 now. It's the Extravagant at New Haven Park, benchmark 78, over 1,200 metres. 10 horses in this race here to go do battle. Look at the speed map. I'd suggest that Lullamore and Willow Hart will probably be the 2 front runners. I don't really see too many other horses here pressing up and getting involved in the speed battle. So as such, I do think Willow Hart will be hard to beat here. It's a horse who runs really well fresh. It's had 2 first up runs for 2 wins. Obviously has run well on a heavy track before and has won. It's run just the one race on a soft track and it finished 5th at Warwick Farm behind McCormack and Cigales. But that was a run just before it got spelled, and I think that maybe that was just a bad performance. Prior to that, it ran really well, finished 3rd to Splintex and Deference on a heavy track at Rosehill, and that reads really nicely for a race like this. So I think Willow Hart can run well first and up here. She's obviously, like I said, she's got that win on a firm track. She's got the win on heavy track before, so I think she can handle the conditions nicely. She's a good first up performance. She had a good trial leading in, so there's plenty of ticks for her, and I'll have her on top at the $5 for me. Ahead of number 6, Lullamore, who obviously she's rock hard fit by now, and she's had a chance on a couple of occasions, so I think she's probably little bit. She has run well on heavy tracks, but she probably is a bit better on the firmer surface. She was good last time out, finishing fourth behind Varda, who goes around later on the program. I think it's one of the better bets of the whole program. So the form line's really good. There, finishing fourth last time out, and finished second to Stellar Seaside on the start prior. So I think she can run well here, especially if she's left alone out in front. She's got the obviously the fitness edge, and $4.20 is a decent price bet her, so she's in for second. In for third, number 4, Enlighten Me, who really is an interesting runner for me. It was very good winning first up, beating Valdestana at Warwick Farm on that occasion. That was a very good win. It's had a bit of a spell since then. That was back on the 8th of July, so it's had a couple of weeks off since then. Well, in fact, it's had 3 weeks off, so I think it run well here for coming into this second up. I think you can only see a bit of improvement coming out of this horse. Very good on a wet track, 3 starts for 2 wins on a soft, so is a big danger to the 2 that I've got on top. But so he goes in for third, and then in for fourth, number 8, Super Oasis, who again is another very good fresh performance, similar to Willow Heart, 3 starts for 2 wins and a second first up. The only thing is this horse will be probably wanting it to dry out a little bit. Hasn't run too well on soft tracks in the past, although it did win a recent trial on the soft track, beating home Willow Heart. So that is an interesting thing to carry, and obviously has barrier number 1, which could be a bit of a positive in a race like this. So really good race, and I think that the market's got it spot on here. I've got number 9, Willow Heart, on top. I think she can win first up, and obviously continue into her preparation. In for second, number 6, Willamore, who obviously is the rock hard fit horse of the race. In for third, at number 4, Enlighten Me. In for fourth, number 8, Super Oasis. Moving on to race number 3 on the program now. It's the Tab Highway Plate over 1,500 metres. Look at the speed back for this race here. I'll suggest that Mo's Glory and Zachary's and Witness Collect from barrier number 10 will roll forward. Rex on the outside barrier will probably look to get across and get into a decent position as well. So real interesting race here. And look, I do think that it'll set up nicely for a horse like number 8, Vibrant Knight, who's won 2 really good races so far this preparation, both at Goulburn and Maruya. Comes in this race here. I think it's going to get a really good run off barrier number 1. Hopefully Hugh Bowman's quite positive out the gate and gets to roll forward. There's not a whole lot of pace for a high race here. Usually there is a lot of early pace in these type of races, but I could see him just settling in behind the speed potentially, or a pair or so back, and really getting home and finishing over the top of him. So 2 starts on a soft track, which are the 2 wins he's had this preparation, and I think he'll handle the surface just fine. I think he'll run really well, so he goes on top for me, ahead of number 4, Morpheus, who obviously was good winning at Mudgee last time out, being risk and reward, won by 3 lengths on that occasion. It's probably a horse that's a bit better on the firm surface, although it has had 2 placings on a soft track, and $5 is a decent price here. Comes in this fourth up. Tim Clark in the saddle, see plenty of positives that to suggest it to run a good race, so it goes in for second. In for third, number 1, Alga, who has to navigate that wide barrier, but if it can do so, it can run a good race here. I think beat Wonders last time out in a benchmark 6-6 at Scone. I think that's a pretty decent race to bring into a highway race here. And Jason Collett in the saddle. This horse run 3 times on a soft track for 2 wins, so that's obviously a key positive. And $7 is a decent price as well if you want to take an each way play. Just has to navigate that wide barrier, and if it could do so, I think it could be well in the finish. And then in for fourth, I've got number 7, the Snooperstar. I thought it was a bit of value at the $13. Obviously, he's been in good form last couple of starts at Scone, and finished third to a horse called Royal Banquet, who goes around late on this program, who's really starting to get some wins. So I think that third is a really good form to take out of that race. And then obviously last start beat Nicky Rose, who's not a bad horse either. And so the Superstar's probably just sitting a little bit under the odds here and can run a good race here at the $13. So it goes in for fourth. But recap the numbers for me. Look, I do think that number 8, Vibrant Knight, will be hard to beat. So it goes on top for me, ahead of number 4, Morpheus in for second. In for third, number 1, Ego, and in for fourth, number 7, the Snooperstar. Now, another chance of the race, I haven't got my top numbers, is number 5, Group Think, who comes out of form at Grafton, where it finished last time out in the Grafton Guineas behind Royce and Foxborough. So, obviously, that's a big step down to come into a higher race here, and Adam Horan was to the saddle. I just wasn't sure about the barrier where it's going to land in the running. That's my only concern. Obviously, does tend to get back in its runs. They did set up for the back marks on that occasion in that race. They did go out hard, and they were able to swoop into the race. Obviously, I had Royce on top for anyone that follows me on my Instagram and Facebook pages, and he swooped right over the top of them. So Look, you can read a bit into that. It's obviously a big drop in class, and he can run well. But look, for me, I was just a little bit concerned with that barrel. I prefer if he would drew wider out. But that's just me personally. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs a good race. So you've got to have him in the numbers. And Mo's Glory is probably the other one who can run well. Second up here, has won on a soft track before, so that's a good positive to bring in. But yeah, for me, look, I've got number 8, Vibrant Night, on top in race number 3, the highway race. Moving on to race number 4 on the program now, and we've got the July sprint over the 1100 metres. There's 8 to go around in this, and a very good field as well. It's very good to see a good feature race like this so early in the program. It'll be very nice to see. Look at the speed map for the July sprint. I think Starboy, Eduardo, Special Reward will be the 3 leaders in the race. Album will probably sit in behind them with Time to Rain. And obviously Plaguestone, Glenall and Rosehill will let it all play out and try to look to swoop over the top of him. And I think Rosehill can do that. I think he comes in his second up, which he's got good second up form. He's had 3 starts for a win and a second. He's very good at this track and distance. He's had 3 starts to the track. 4 starts to the track for 2 wins and a placing. He's had 3 starts to the distance for 2 wins and a second. He's had 2 starts to the track and distance for a win and a placing. So he has really strong claims here. He was obviously terrific first up. He won really impressively, beating Sandbar on that occasion on a heavy track. He comes out of a soft track, which I don't think is going to be too much of a concern for him. He's an ultimate professional. And look, I think that I like that they've kept him fresh for this. He's coming off a 4-week gap. He had a trial in between this run and obviously his prior run where he finished 5th behind Ethereum Flit in a trial there at Hawkesbury. We know how solid those 2 horses are. Obviously, Flit being a Group 1 winner, and Ethereum's got plenty of talent. Really look forward to Ethereum coming back out onto the track. So he goes on top for me ahead of number 3, Eduardo, who's obviously the former Sarah Shakowski horse and is now with Joseph Pride and going to be racing in New South Wales. But interesting to see how he can go here with the new stable and going around a different way of going. And I think he can run well. He had a really good trial around Warwick Farm leading into this race here, and I think he can definitely run a bold race first up. I definitely think he's got a good chance at the $3.90, so he goes for second. You have third, number 4, Plaguestone, who I think is a bit over the odds here at $13. He's going to sit back and watch it all unfold. I think he could probably finish over the top of him. He ran over the 1,000 metres first up at Grafton. He was never able to really come into it, but neither was really any of the back markers, so I can forgive that run. I think he runs better second up here, although his second up stats aren't flash, and isn't the best this track either. He's had 3 starts for the 1 placing, but I do think that he's got a lot of ability, and Tommy Berry gets the ride, which is obviously a key jockey booking, so he goes in for third. Then in for fourth, number 2, Glenall, who can run well first up here for the Hawks team with Hugh Bowman in the saddle. Has a decent fresh record, 6 starts for 2 wins and 2 placings. Look, really last preparation ran in some solidly run, in some very solid form lines. Looking at, he finished 10th in a group race behind Elite Say, so he obviously did finish last on that occasion, but the fact that he stepped into that class, he only finished 3.6 lengths off, and he obviously has a very good chance here in this race. He has won on a soft track before, which is very, obviously, a big bonus, and he has run here on the track and distance. He's very good here at Rosehill. He's had 4 starts for a win and 2 placings, so he can run a very bold race first up, especially off barrier number 1. He'd be able to get into a good position and potentially roll off the leader's back, or get that inside run and get a gap and finish over the top. So he's definitely one to watch as well. Look, Special Reward, I've left him out, but he's definitely got a lot of ability, and he's very good on a soft track. He's had 3 starts for 3 placings, 3 wins, on a soft track, and he's obviously had 4 starts first up for 2 wins, so he's a big danger, $4.80. I have left him out of my numbers just because I wanted to put Plaguestone in because I thought it was a bit of value, but yeah, Special Reward's a big danger. But look, I've got number 6, Rahiran, on top. Ahead of number 3, Eduardo, in for second. In for third, number 4, Plaguestone. In for fourth, number 2, Glenall. But obviously, like I said, also, I think Special Reward's got a good chance. It has to carry the 62 kilos first up, which is a bit of a difficult assignment, but it's very good on a wet track. Moving on to race number 5 on the program now. It's over 2,400 metres, and it is the ASX Refinitiv Charity Benchmark 78. Look at the speed map for this race here. 13 horses go around in this field at the moment. I suggest that Shangali Patrol probably look to lead out and find the top, with Naminga to sit in behind. Terwilliger will probably get towards the pace. True Marvel and Continuation will probably roll forward off their inside barriers, get into a prominent position. Look, I'm pretty interesting race here, and I think that Naminga is a horse that I want to follow here. I think this $14 is a good price bet. This horse, it comes out of the Grafton Cup last time out, where it finished behind 60s Groom, the Lord Mayor. I think that's the right form to bring into a race like this. I think it's stronger than some of the other ones some of the form of some of the other horses that, hang on, try that one again. It's better than some of the form that some of these horses possess in this race. And I think that Naming can run a really good race. And it's obviously a horse that really doesn't often run a bad race. Hasn't finished outside the top 4 in its last 6. So you could definitely take it with a bit of confidence. So obviously you can read that obviously the form might not read as strong besides that Grafton Cup run from last start. But look, he's in good form and he's very good on the soft tracks. There's 7 starts for 3 wins and 2 placings. And I think if he can run that Grafton Cup performance again, he can run really well here. So he goes on top of the $14 for me, ahead of number 9, True Marvel, who I think is a very good each-way play as well in this race. Obviously finished 4th last time out at Randwick behind Tiger Royale and Desert Path. I think can bounce back off that performance there. That was on a heavy track, comes back onto a softer surface. I think it will suit this horse much better. And it can run really well. And like I said, $9.50 is a very good price about this horse. I think you can take it at each way price. So it goes in for second. Either third, number 1, Corcho, who was very good winning last start at Rosehill here at the track. Beat New Range on that occasion at big odds. Do think the market's overreacted a little bit to it. Now $5. I think that's a bit short, but probably had it more around a $7, $8 chance. But look, this horse won on a heavy last time out. It has had 2 starts on a soft track for no wins and no placing. So that is the concern for me, but was a good performance winning last time out. Wouldn't be surprised if it can bounce back off of that. And the other horse that I think has a good chance in the race is number 2, Resilient, who has bounced back into a bit of form after a win last time out at Newcastle, beat Diamonds and Rust, who has since coming out was a little bit disappointing. So that form isn't extremely strong, but I always reflect back to its Resilience run 2 starts back where it finished behind Artie Lucas. I think is a pretty decent stayer. So that horse goes in for 4th for me. There's a couple other chances in the race, but I think that I've got this race pretty spot on. I don't think Love Seat. Look, she's just a horse she's been promising a bit. She just hasn't really delivered. She's had 5 starts on a soft track for 2 placings, so she's hard to take for me. But look, I'm very keen at Naminga, and I can't believe he's a $14 odds. I think he's got a very good chance here. So he goes on top ahead of number 9, True Marvel of second. I think they're both very good each way plays in this race. In for third, number 1, Corcho, and in for 4th, number 2, Resilient. Moving on to race number 6 now. It's the TAB Benchmark 70, race number 6 over the 1400 metres. 14 horses to go around this, and it's pretty strong benchmark 70 as well, to be honest. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Frosty Rocks will try and find the pace. The speed, Ferretti will be up there as well. Academy is usually up towards the speed as well. But besides that, I can't see too many others necessarily challenging for the lead. So considering for a 1400 metre race, I don't think they'll be going extremely hard out front. And look, I was keen on Traverse, but I think that pace might be tough for him to come on from the back from. So I'm going to look at a horse that'll be probably a bit closer to the pace. And I think Papa Warrior would be right up there. He obviously finished second last time out at Rosehill, at Randwick over 1300 metres behind Edison. I think that's pretty good form. He comes back off the heavy track onto a softer surface, which I think will suit him much better. He gets a good run off barrier number 1. National Royal in the saddle, $11 is wide of the odds for me. So I'm going to have him on top in what's a very open race, ahead of number 3, Traverse, who, like I said, I am concerned about how far back he's going to be off what doesn't look to be a strong tempo on paper. So I think he can win. He's obviously has a very big talent, but he did finish third. Papa Warrior did beat him home last time out. So, looking at that, he goes up a kilo and Papa Warrior goes up 2 kilos. He does get that slight weight swing off that last start performance, but like I said, Papa Warrior is going to be up towards the pace where there doesn't look to be a lot on, and Traverse will be back winding up. So I think $3.40. Don't think there should be that big of a difference in the prices between the two. So Traverse definitely has a chance, but $3.40 is a bit short for me, so he goes in for second. In for third, number 6, Dancing Gidget, who was very good winning first up for Chris Waller, and has Hugh Bowman in the saddle, winning first up at Randwick on the Kensington track, beat Satin Ruby on that occasion, who she has since come out run pretty well since, and that was obviously back on the 1st of July, so it's had a bit of a 3-week freshen up since then, and comes in this race here. Can run well second up. Second up form's not great for this horse, but I think based off that first up performance, it's hard to not go with her and give her a chance in this type of race, so she goes to the third. And then in for fourth, number 4, Rothenberg, I'm going to give him a chance because I think that his last 2 starts out of higher race, he's got to step up in grade here, but he's won them so convincingly and dominantly that he's got to be given a chance here. He's 2 from 2 here at the track and 2 for 2 at the track and distance, so you've got to respect that, and I think he can run a good race at $11. Other horses I think have a chance this race, so I will be going pretty wide in this. I think Liara, number 12, shouldn't be $31. I think it's definitely got a bit of a chance to finish third last time out to Luna Tramp and Nick Anita at Warwick Farm. I think second up, he can improve off that. Very good on a wet track. Obviously, had 2 starts on a soft track for a win and a placing. So I think she's got a very good chance here. I wouldn't be leaving her out. She's at $31. She's a good each way prospect. And LeBouc obviously won last time out at Kembla Grange. Now, does step up in grade, but that was a good win last start on a soft track. So $31 about a last start winner is something that you might want to leave out either. But look, I've gone with number 7, Papal Warrior. I think this horse has got a very good chance. It goes on top for me. I have number 3, Traverse in for second. In for third, number 6, Dancing Gidget. And in for fourth, I have got number 4, Rothenberg. Other chance, look, Frosty Rocks and Academy both have chances as well. And Royal Banquet, like I mentioned earlier, is a real interesting horse for Nathan Doyle. And see this horse can go on with it and show its ability. So, like I said, very open race, which is why I've swung towards Papal Warrior at $11. I think it's good value. Moving on to race number 7 on the program now. It's the Iron Jack Winter Challenge. And look at it, over 1,500 metres. Pretty strong race, this one. Now look at the speed map. We get to the return of Mugger 2. I suggest that Taika Mochi and Special Missile will be the 2 leaders of the race. Invictus Prince and Sambro will probably roll up off barriers number 1 and 3, respectively, and get in behind the speed. And I hope that Grey Lion can press forward as well. Now, look, I'm obviously some of the key chances in this race are backmarkers, so it's going to be interesting to see how if they can come into it. I've got to stick with Noble Boy here because he was so impressive last time out. Obviously, did tip him this time last time on this video, and I was very impressed that he got the chocolates, and that was on a heavy track. He sets back onto a soft track, which is no problem for him. He's had 2 starts for 2 wins on a soft track, and it was good to see him bounce back last time out. I hope that's done his confidence good, and he can bounce back and run well here again at the 550. I think it's a good price to take about him, so he goes on top for me. Ahead of number 3, Mugger 2, obviously he's got a stack of abilities we saw last preparation. He comes in his first up. He's obviously going to be looking for further. We saw him step out as far as 2,400 metres last preparation, so he's definitely looking for further, but he did win first up last time out over the 600 metres, so he's got very good fresh record. He's got good form on the soft track. He's definitely going to be a danger. I don't know if I could take him at $4 first up over 1,500 metres, but he definitely does have a good chance. I expect him to run a good race, so he goes in for second. Even third, number 2, Grey Lion. Now, he obviously he's well out of form, but he is a horse who can pop up and run a good race. And this, look, he goes from 600 metres last time out of Flemington. He comes back to 1,500, so he'll obviously get better over the further distance. I'm surprised Matt Smith hasn't stepped him up in distance yet, but he is a horse that can run a good race from time to time. He has won here at the track before. He obviously will appreciate the slightly firmer going. He ran on heavy soft track at Flemington last start. He never really came into it, but that was a pretty strong race, and I just wouldn't be surprised if he can run a race. You can never leave him out, so $61 from me about a horse who he is very good on his day. So if he can show up and run a good race, I think he can run. He could be in the finish here, so he goes in for third. And then over fourth, number 7, Dealmaker, I think it's got strong claims here. It's been finishing off its races pretty nicely last couple of starts. Finished fourth to Noble Boy last time out. It was only a length off Noble Boy, so the fact he's $8 is a bit over the odds for me, and he obviously will appreciate stepping back from the heavy track onto a softer surface where he does perform much better. So he's a big danger for me. He goes for fourth. But recap the numbers. Look, I'm keen on number 6, Noble Boy. I think he will appreciate that win last time out, and it'll do his confidence a lot of good, and he'll bounce back and run well here. So he goes on top for me. Here, number 3, Mugger 2, in for second. In for third, number 2, Grey Lion. And in for fourth, number 7, Dealmaker. Moving on to race number 8 in the program. Now it's the Everest Carnival on sale. Benchmark 88 over the 1,300 metres. And very good race here. I think this is one of the tougher races of the day. I think Prime Candidate will roll forward with You Make Me Smile. Rari and Cuban Royale will probably sit in behind them. And Spanish Dream might use inside barrier to get prominent towards the pace. But I could see Prime Candidate and You Make Me Smile pair off and lead them up. And I think Prime Candidate can go on with it as well. I think it's one of the best bets of the program. And this horse was finished second last time out to In and Up, and was really closing nicely on the heavy track. It sets back onto a softer surface, which I think is going to suit him much better. If he comes in this third up, he's had 2 starts third up for a win and a placing, so I think he can run much better here, and he will appreciate there's not going to be a lot of tempo in the race from what I can see on paper, so I think he's going to be really hard to beat the 360, so he goes on top for me. Ahead of number 5, You Make Me Smile, who comes in this third up, has a good third up record, has had 4 starts for a win and a placing. will be much better stepping back from heavy onto a softer track. And I wouldn't be surprised if he runs a good race at $17 as well. So I'll definitely be having something each way on him. He goes in for second for me. In for third, number one, True Detective, who's been in good form and finished sixth at a very in that race behind Prime Gainer. Not sure he can turn the tables on Prime Cam today, but he does obviously run well here at this track. And look, he has had 8 starts at the track for 3 wins and 2 placings. He comes from 1200 up to the 1300 metres, which will probably benefit him a little bit better. He has had 3 starts at this track and this for 2 wins and a placing. So he is much better when he steps out over a bit further. Last time he was at 1300 metres, he won here at the track, beating Trumbull on a heavy track, and obviously Trumbull come out and won after that. So look, he's been up for a long time, and it's full credit to Chris Wilder, but I think he can run well here, going from 1200 up to the 1300 metres. He'll appreciate the extra 100 metres. So he goes in for third for me. Then in for fourth, number 4, Poetic Charmer, who will be looking for a firmer surface, but run really well last time out behind Prime Candidate there on that occasion. So got to respect that run last start and give him a good chance here again. So recap the numbers for me. I am counting on number 2, Prime Candidate on top. Ahead of number 5, You Make Me Smile, for second. In for third, number 1, True Detective. And in for fourth, number 4, Poetic Charmer. Moving on to the final race of the program. We've whipped through this nice and quickly for you. Look at the speed map. This is where we get to see the smart Vada go around. Really looking forward to this race, the last one of the program. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Sid's Footprints and Partners will go towards the pace. Lord Zoolander, and he's a hot shot, will also be up towards the pace as well. And Pleasant will probably look to roll across from outside barrier. I think Vada can get away with not being too close to the pace here and should be able to roll into it. And I'm going to have him on top. I think that she's going to be really hard to beat. She was been really impressive so far, winning her 2 race starts since resuming from a spell. Her last start performance was excellent on a heavy track. She does come back onto a softer surface, which does leave a little bit of a query. She obviously has had the 1 start in a soft performance, and she didn't place on that occasion, but that was in strong company, so I've got to give her a bit of credit with that. She's been in good form since she returned, and I think she can continue it here. I can't see too much giving her a solid challenge out of this race, so she goes on top for me. And number 3, Prairie Fire, who comes back off the 7-day backup, so nearly knocked off Spaceboy. And for those who followed me last week, would be very happy that Spaceboy didn't manage to cling on by the barest of margins. But Prairie Fire obviously is in good form, and I think he can run a good race here. He obviously comes off the 7-day backup, big danger to the favourite, so it goes in for second. In for third, number 6, Lord Zoolander, is in good form. Has had 3 wins on the spin. Last start was a win at Hawkesbury, and can definitely bounce back off that. It's a good horse who runs really well on a soft track. It's had 5 starts for 3 wins and a placing. So I definitely got to give this horse a chance at Tommy Barron in the saddle. So it goes in for third at the $11. And in for fourth, I've got number 9, Minted, who won well last time out at Newcastle and comes in this third up, who I think this horse can improve off that. Definitely is looking for a firm set track, as we saw last time out, where it won on the firm surface. And comes from 61 kilos down to 56. I think I really appreciate the drop in weights, so he goes in for fourth. Other chances in the race, look, Zanaya and Partners both have their chances as well. I'm not sure they can beat the favourite, but and I think there's a couple of others who have claims, but you can definitely put them if you're playing quaddies or first fours or the like. But look, pretty keen on Vada in the last race here. Think she'll be hard to beat. Ahead of number 3, Prairie Fire, is definitely a good each way option, as well as number 6, Lord Zoolander, and for third. And in for fourth, I've got number 9, Minted. Now, looking back at the best bets of the program, look, I've got to go with Vada in this final race at $2.15. I think she'll be very hard to beat in this final race. That's race number 9, number 5, Vada. And then looking throughout the program as well, the other horse that I'm very keen on is in race number 7, and it's number 6, Noble Boy, at the $5.50. I think he can be hard to beat again, so he's my other best bet of the program. Look at best each way plays. Race number 6 and number 7, Papal Warrior. I'm very keen to have an each way go at him, so he goes in as one of my best value / each way bets of the program. Race number 6, and it is number 7, Papal Warrior, at the $11. And the other horse that I'm very keen on comes in race number 5, and it's number 8, Namingo, at this $14, coming out of that Grafton Cup form. I think it'll be very good form to follow. So that's my best bets and best value bets of the program. Now, I did mention in my last video, my apologies I didn't get to it, but I will look at the Tab Lightning figures over at Morpheus. Obviously a feature race of the day. It's a 1,050 metre race. Look at the speed map for this race here. I think that there'll be quite a lot of pace, as you do suggest in these. Just Vereen, the very smart filly, she resumes. In fact, well, what's she now? Yeah, she's still a 3-year-old, so she's very smart filly. Flow Star Oh, geez, this is a tough name to say. Alez Sir Legree obviously will be up towards the pace as well. Garvok, All Banter, The Natural, and Supreme Idea, they'll all be up towards the pace and be a very strongly run tempo because it's nice for the back marks. Look, I'm keen on number 9, Supreme Idea. It was ran in some very good form last preparation. Obviously beat Mission River at Randwick on a soft track there. You're looking at a 7th behind A Beautiful Night. Finished 8th behind Dangerous Sell and See You Soon. So this is also obviously run against some very top level 2-year-olds. Comes back as a 3-year-old here. In fact, she is still a 2-year-old. My mistake. She has won on a soft track before. I think she can be hard to beat here. She'll be running really well first up. So she goes in at 440. She's on top for me. Ahead of number 6, Just Serene, the favourite. She obviously has a stack of ability, as we know. She was very good last preparation, winning both her race starts. She's had a bit of a spell since then, though. That was obviously back in January earlier this year, and she's had a bit of a spell, but I think she can run well. She's coming in for a good preparation this spring, and we know that she's got plenty of ability, so she goes for second. In the third, I've got number 11, Parlophone, who was very good winning last start at Sandown, and like I mentioned, there's a horse I'll be interested to see how this form stands up at Caulfield. So Parlophone definitely goes in with a chance at the $10 in for third. And number 10, Euphoric Summer, also has a good chance coming this third up and off the back of a good 4th last time out at Caulfield behind Saltpeter and Clean Machine. Was making good ground for late on that occasion there. So got to give Euphoric Summer a chance in the race. But recapping my numbers for the Lightning Fingers race, number 7 at Morpheus over the 1,050 metres. Number 9, Supreme Idea on top for me. Ahead of number 6, Just Serene in for second. In for third, I've got number 11, Parlophone. In for fourth, number 10, Euphoric Summer. Now, the other one I want to quickly touch on as well is in Belmont. And the feature race there is the Bolton Sprint. And I do think that number 1, Electric Light for William Pike's got a good chance here at $11. So I'm not going to go through that whole race, but I think this horse will have the odds. It's a horse that at this track and distance had 6 starts for 5 wins. So he's very good, and he comes up this top over the 1,200 metres. He stepped out to 1,400 last time out. Don't think it was his right distance range, but that wasn't a very strong race behind Perfect Jewel and the Velvet King. That, of course, was a group race. So he's been going around in much stronger company. Steps back in grade here, and $13 I think is a good price about him. So he's one to follow over at Belmont. Obviously, for all my other selections where I do around the tracks, I look at every other track on the day on Saturday. Go and have a look at my social media page where I will post tips for the likes of Belmont, Morpheville, and obviously Doomben as well. So go and check out those if you're looking for more to back in the program. But if not, hopefully you can find plenty of winners out of the Rosehill meeting and the Caulfield meeting, Blenchgilly Stakes Day at Caulfield. So go and check that one out if you've already done so. Please subscribe if you're new. Like, comment down below any of your thoughts. Follow me on the social media page if you've already done so. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed my sort of breakdown of each race, and hope you can find plenty of winners as a result.